Hello? There we go. I've just been yapping. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, so I have fixed the capture card issue, which is fantastic. And what else? Yeah, the capture card issue was just I did a boatload of cable management so that I can have my sit stand desk. What? Right? Right? Here we go. We're sitting. Um, and that cable management involved the HDMI cables bending at angles that they didn't like, I guess. Um, so I bought new super flexible HDMI cables, and that helps. I'm gonna throw you guys over here for a second. Huh? Where'd my what the heck just happened? Can you? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, excellent. So, you know, that's something. Um, what else? Yeah, unfortunately, today we have to install Windows though. So that's not super exciting. But I have been thinking about the NAS migration to NixOS. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm looking at, I think what I want to do is try one box for my home lab. I've spent a lot of time separating things. Hey, Parkerman, how's it going? I've seen a few titles related to NixOS. I think you just go for it. I did a few months back as a first real daily drive Linux and have been enjoying it for my daily gaming purposes. Ooh, I was going to go Bazite for gaming because I didn't want to do a bunch of like kernel stuff and configuring because my gaming experience is going to be basically a DIY Steam box. I moved my gaming PC out into the living room, and now it's just permanently a console, which is hilariously still running Windows 11. Because a while back, I configured Windows 11 with a bunch of registry edits to just like not have to like avoid logins and everything and just boot straight into Steam. But a couple weeks ago, over a month now. Oh, over a month now. Over a month now, I sold my NVIDIA 5070 Ti to pick up a 9070 XT so I could be more Linux compliant. Um, and I was in the middle of making a video about that process when my NAS died, which was not great. But it does mean we're gonna be doing. I'll have a video at some point on making your own Steam box. I've already missed the hype train, but like let's be honest. I don't make these YouTube videos to get famous. I got one random stroke of luck with the smartphone stuff, and then I didn't upload frequently enough to really ride that hype train. And now we're just this like small community of like fellow nerds, which is a lot nicer, I think, than being YouTube famous. That sounds horrible, to be honest. Like, it just sounds like it would be a lot of work. And then you're constantly worrying about if your video is going to pop off or not. This way, all of the people who comment on my videos are nice because they're part of the community. And it's like, for a long time, I just stopped reading YouTube comments. Hey, Ducks, how's it going? It's been a while. How you doing? So yeah, it's been months till I've seen. Yes, it has been a little while. How are you doing? So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying where the YouTube channel's gone. It's been like low key. I do want to start making more videos again, but I guess I'm not super surprised that I haven't. With all of the NAS stuff that blew up, with the working on starting a company around the digital declutter. Comments can get rough. They were. Oh my god. The comments on the Sleek phone video were brutal. Like, it was hilarious. Even the Sleek phone people, like, because I think they are authentically sort of partners, like allies in the anti-attention economy kind of journey, whether or not you appreciate their technical solution. And I personally think it's a perfectly reasonable technical solution, but a lot of people were like, why wouldn't I just install graphene? And I was like, well, that solves different problems. But anyways, even they were like, holy, yeah, we saw the comments on that video and we thought you were going to hate us. It's like, it's not your fault. We just found a strange misalignment between my community or parts of this community and the Sleek Phone product. Which, anyways, I'm on a weird rant. I'm really, really looking forward to NixOS. So that's in the works. We're definitely going to make that leap, and it's time. So let's talk a little bit about home lab stuff before we get onto Windows. Sorry to be streaming about Windows. Right. So my home lab has been unnecessarily complex, and I keep doing that. By the way, I'm sitting on the floor, so if you see me like moving about, that's why. I keep doing that, right? Like I keep making my home lab overly complex, and then we don't end up doing much, and then I have nothing to make YouTube videos about. So I think what we're gonna do is I might ditch the separate devices situation. So for a long time, I was doing one machine for compute that was running Proxmox, and then my NAS. And my NAS died, but I can bring it back to life. The drives are fine, I imagine. It's just the boot drive died. I don't know why. It's a cheap little NVMe drive that came with the thing, right? But anyways, I think what I'm going to do is just try to build the home lab on the one device. It's got an N100. I can very likely run Home Assistant and a bunch of Docker containers, or probably via Nix. I won't be running specifically Docker containers, but let's say isolated applications, all on that machine. And I think that'll make things a lot simpler. Is that a YouTube challenge? I don't want to have to install Windows right now. Also, hey, Plus, how's it going? But I owe a friend a mini PC, and his dad has been waiting a while for this, and I keep forgetting to do it. And I thought, you know what? Let's just get this done, because he's a good guy, and I should really get to this one tiny request he's made of me. So we're going to do it. We're going to install some Windows today. I got myself a Windows Home license, and we're going to throw it on Papa Roach. So he is the inheritor of my N95 mini PC, which was, I think, the second mini PC I bought. The second one. It was my router for a long time. It was the device through which I self-hosted my website by actually opening ports in my home network straight to the internet. That was around the time I posted my first video on, what was it? ZFS boot menu stuff. I can't believe it's been 2 years almost. That's crazy. I guess I have been YouTubing for about 2 years. Where do you get your licenses from? This time I got it from a website called Kingwin. It was Tom's Hardware recommended it, so I was like, okay, well, Tom's Hardware hasn't lied to me before, so that's fine. And it was like $35. It was one of those like OEM recycled licenses, I think, which I understand to be entirely legal. So, anyways, what did I miss here? Klutz says, TBH, I never used it, but it's cool to have seen that it's out there and an option. So it's nice that you can do that stuff and make others aware if they'd like it. Yeah, that's like what I was aiming for, right? I don't know. I will, if the Sleek people come out with another device or like updates and stuff, I'm gonna work with them again regardless. It's a product that I believe in. I think perhaps it might not be well oriented for like the Linuxy community, but there is a group of people for whom that device I think is perfect. I think from what I understand of the literature around smartphone interventions, it's the right mix. And so I'm like, I can't not back it. Like I believe. Oh well. Another thing I do believe in, because I realize the last bunch of my videos have been like product reviews from people who have sent me stuff, which I don't love. Like, I only do videos on products that I think are actually really cool and somebody's gonna like. but I do want to do some of my own stuff, so I'm not just like a product shill. But I finally posted my video on the Umbral Pro, which after reflecting, I'm like, this is a really cool device if you're not really like a hardcore home labber and you have a lot of money. That's that, that's the thing that I've landed on about the Umbral Pro. So hear me out, right? I mean, you could watch my video. It's only 9.5 minutes because I'm trying to make my videos shorter and punchier for multiple reasons, but one being it's a lot easier to film and edit, and it's more fun to do so because it doesn't take up like a boatload of time. So hopefully that means I actually, make more videos. But anyways, the Umbral Pro. My thesis, my understanding of it has come down to the idea that like it's not really a great moment to be doing NVMe storage because like even just spinning Rust is super expensive. But NVMe storage is super exciting, not for its performance concerns, right? Like, somebody's gonna love the fact that it's wicked fast, but I don't think it's the person who's buying the Umbral Pro. Like, the person who's buying the Umbral Pro isn't buying it because they're like, I need the fastest NAS on the market. Because I just don't believe that. That doesn't seem like the thing. The Umbral Pro, I think, is using NVMe storage so that the device is small, right? And they're like, you know what? The person who wants this probably doesn't need a boatload of storage. And so the maximum available, the maximum that you can do on this is 32 terabytes, and you're probably going to do like a RAID Z1 equivalent. So really more like 24 terabytes. And they're like, you know what? Probably 24 terabytes is enough for the person who wants this. And so they were like, what if we just made, I think this is their reasoning. They're like, what if we just made the most beautiful NAS on the market? It's small, it's elegant, it looks really cool, it feels really great. What if we just made the most beautiful one? And then also, by the way, it's fully open source, like the software is, right? I think that was their play. And so that basically sums up my video. It's like, hey, in a world full of new NASs, like my Zima Board 2, my dad's got the Zima Cube. What's the identity of this thing? And I'm like, it's the beautiful one. It's for the people who don't need a boatload of horsepower, who don't need two NICs because they've not even considered virtualizing their router or anything like that. They're like, I just want a place to put my data and watch my movies off of, and it's going to be in the living room or in the closet by the router. Like, they're just not that concerned about all that. That I think is who the Umbral Pro is for. And I think as far as that is concerned, they succeeded. It's awesome. Like, it's just, I like looking at it. Like, I actually do. Love their software idea, and I feel 24 terabytes is plenty for a small family. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. You don't need, like, a NAS with, like, 6 bays if you're just kind of a regular guy with a home lab. Or, like, not even a home lab. Just stuff you're self-hosting. So, I don't know. Let's see if we can adjust this a little. Is that better? Oh, that's the problem. Let's bring that down. You guys can come down here with me. So, that's the deal. That's what I've been up to. It's been fun. What else? I have some projects I want to poke. I want to share. Let's see. If I share MacBook desktop, which one does it share? It shares this. Okay. So you're getting like the cascading thing here. Let's see if I can bring my terminal over and we'll chat. Oh, let's do this and do this. So some other things. We're just going to hang out for a bit. So one thing that's been really fun, I don't know how many of you are up to date on my project Kairos. Also, let's pop you guys over here for now. This is a little app I've been developing. And I was reading Clean Architecture by Robert Martin, Uncle Bob. And I was like, what if I refactor my code base to be a little bit better shaped? And that turned out to be a large project, but it's actually come along quite well. So let's see, where's the I've split up. Maybe it's just in the README. Claude. Yeah. I've split up the project and sort of gone with a hexagonal architecture, which has been pretty cool. So now, whereas before, let me see about let me grab GitHub and share a little bit. Oops. There we go. So over here, there we go. I'm gonna put this over there. So on main, because I haven't merged this into main yet, I basically just had apps and packages. Packages was I had like my core, which is where I held a state machine that handled kind of like the main logic. And then apps was everything, pretty much everything else, right? Everything that wasn't pure. And there was a desktop app and a mobile app. And that was pretty good. I also have the contract separated out, so that's all like the Zod stuff. But yeah, I wanted to break it out so that I could extend in all sorts of interesting ways. And that's where this version came about, which basically broke things out much further. There's now like a domain package, which again, which is the heart in essence the original core, and then boundary is the original contract. But I noticed there was like a bunch of same sort of like pasted code between the mobile and the desktop application, so I extracted that out. What is this project for? This project this project is for fun. This project is more or less just a labor of love. Basically, it's a Pomodoro app that makes you exercise, but it's Greek themed. Um, so here, check this out. It's Electron. I apologize in advance. So the idea of it is like you sign on for some number of exercises or some number of like focused time and exercises. And then what you do is you kind of like vow to do that. Those are the sound effects. They need some work. I have like set up a hey, I'm about to start a bunch of work thing, which tells you to do some meditation, do a gratitude practice, and like write out what you're gonna do. Great 2 second pitch. It's a Pomodoro timer that makes you exercise and it's Greek themed. And because this is what I do, you can turn this off. And then what it does is tells you, hey, here's your Pomodoro part. You're gonna focus now. And then we skip. I haven't got the art yet, but here you can see you're assigned some potential exercises. It's a pick one of three system. I was playing Hades at the time, so it's very Hades inspired and Slay the Spire inspired. So you can see there's different kinds. This one's like flexibility, labeled mobility. This one's a mindfulness practice. This one's some agility, or not agility, sorry, some cardio. And you just pick one. Let's say I do the cardio one. It's of like common rarity, so it's only for 1 minute. And it kind of suggests, hey, just do 1 minute. Once you're done, you click I'm done. Sorry about the sound. Here. And then you kind of say like, hey, how much did you do? How much did you do? Let's say I did all of it, and then you get a break. Once you're done, you get the next 30-minute timer. Anyways, you can sort of skip through this, and we'll just do a bunch. You can see the rarities kind of scale. So here, we've got an epic rarity. So this one is do 3 sets of shoulder presses, right? It assumes you've got some dumbbells. I'm working on a feature for constraints. So you can only you can only draw from the deck exercises for which you have the constraints, right? Can you pull a mythic jog for 1 hour? Yes, actually. But only after a certain threshold. Because basically, the way I think about it is you can't be totally random, or you can't be like, super random with your rarities like you can in a game. Because if time is a factor, then obviously you don't want to be like one session in and get assigned a 1 hour jog. That doesn't make any sense. So I make it so that the like longer duration ones um, only pop up after like 4 focus timers. So by the time you hit about 2 to 3 hours of working, that's about the time you should like break for lunch, break for a long run, something like that. So this, yeah, suggests, let's say I do all of them, you get a longer break if you do a harder exercise. Kind of makes sense. I basically just built it for me because I work from home, and I was like, I do this anyways, and I thought it would be cool to have. So here you can see we're on number 4, and we've got zone 4 treadmill. So this is like run hard on a treadmill for however long. Or you can do shoulder press and curls. So you can see this one expects you to run hard for 15 minutes. You say all, and then it's like, hey, you're done. Congratulations, you did your Odyssey, and so on. So, anyways, I've been working on this app, and it was working this well before. I just refactored it because I'm like neurotic. What are you gonna do, right? Anyways, it's coming along nicely. I'm really proud of it, but I've been working on another project. Can you tell I have like I have too many projects? I should probably do fewer things. Um, I use OpenSpec, and I've been working on extending it with some new features, which has been kind of fun. So the idea here is you're doing spec-driven development stuff, but I wanted to create more types of specs so that you can kind of like track more stuff. Um, the way spec-driven development through OpenSpec works is like meh. Um, you just throw everything you feel like in a spec right now, and I wanted to break it up some more. So now you can have architectural and behavioral specs, and you can nest them, which is cool. And it also tracks how a spec is enforced, which I like. So I'm working on that. I see it's Electron, TypeScript, Zod. Did you have some experience with that already? We use hexagonal architecture for projects at work. I actually haven't written any TypeScript before. I mean, I've written like JavaScript and a little TypeScript. But yeah, I'd never made an Electron app. Never. I know of Zod, but and like I have to do some Next.js stuff at work, but it's mostly other people bring their Next.js applications to me and I deploy them. So most of this was like very AI generated. Like I babysat it the whole way through and like was learning alongside it, but I didn't write much code by hand. Yeah. I found the hexagonal thing really quite nice. Like it does make me feel like the system is much more flexible and I can extend it in unforeseeable ways or in ways that I haven't really foreseen with a lot greater ease, which is cool. Anyways, that's kind of where we're at. That's what I've been up to. So, while I aim this webcam at me, because I'm just going to be downloading Windows and stuff, and it's probably not going to be very exciting. We're just going to hang out and chat. You'll get a look at my face. And yeah, that's the game plan. Let me see. Like, why is it so hard to just install Windows? Download ISO. Yes, that's what I want. Right? I don't need... What's the difference between... Like, what? Bootable installation media or... Yes, okay, that's what I want. Excellent. All right, well, that's going to download. I've got my USB stick, and we're going to take it from there. Yes. So, yeah, I guess what else have I been working on? Well, the NAS we're gonna migrate to Nix, and I think next stream we'll get to that. That I'm really looking forward to. I want to spend some time reading about Nix first, because you know I don't like just throwing random stuff onto a machine and finding out. But also, probably gonna have to be what I do. Like, there's just gonna be a certain amount of learning as we go for this. Anyways, what's everybody else up to? Parkerman, I feel like it's been a little while. Do you have any interesting projects going on? I should probably also ping the Discord. I realized I didn't send out the link to the stream. I think a bunch of my automations have just died. So that's cool. I'll have to figure that out at some point. I wonder if anyone ever uses Twitch here. If my Twitch channel gets any views. Well, we'll see. What else have I been working on? Well, we're planning on doing the digital declutter relaunch in September. We had to push it back a little bit. We're going to do a test run in August, which means, oh boy. I have to do the refactor of the interventions. Looking at calendar. Real soon. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So I got this week and next week. Yep. That'll have to happen soon. But it's cool. Hey, Ray, how's it going? It has. I actually just got a Zima Board 2 off of Facebook Marketplace and had it die near instantly. Just got a new one in the mail, and I plan on making my first ever NAS with it. Any OS recommendations? Ooh, that's kind of fun. Well, I don't know why I'm not subscribed anymore. That's strange. Well, you're subscribed now. But yeah, OS recommendations depends on how DIY you want to be. You can always go Debian or Nix if you want to do the NAS from scratch, but otherwise, just TrueNAS. If you want something that like also hosts apps and things really well, I wouldn't do TrueNAS for that. You can do. You might like Zima OS for that. If you want something fully open source, you could always put Umbrella OS on your Zima board too. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I think just for storage and some light app usage, TrueNAS Scale. TrueNAS Scale might do all the work you need. Oh right, that's it. Just found a 35 euro local DAS over FireWire. eSATA USB 3. Had some HDD speed, should be enough with the interface to my TrueNAS. Ooh, that's cool. How much storage? Wait. Current projects. I'm about to implement running Doom 2 PvP on Mux Opus. Not because it's needed, but I want to answer the question if it runs Doom. I love that. That's excellent. Is there a way that I could test that? Could I try out Doom 2 on Mux Opus? Is that like a thing that I could do? Is it a thing that I could do on stream even? Because that just sounds like a ton of fun. Oh yeah, I forgot. On Twitch, I need to do tags. Let's see. Might go with TrueNAS. Comes with 2 times 500 gigabytes, but we'll put 2 times 2 or 2 times 4. Nice. That sounds pretty good. Might go with TrueNAS just for the sake of convenience and not having to tinker with that specifically. Still have my Proxmox-based home lab with a K3S cluster inside for messing around. Yeah. I got super unlucky with my TrueNAS installation, but I'm pretty sure TrueNAS in general works like a dream. So it would be very surprising to me if you had the same issue that I did. Um, yeah, there we go. But it would need the server to be deployed somewhere. Okay, yes, you could even stream. You could even stream on it. RTMP ingest using OBS is in. Ooh, okay. But it would need the server to be deployed somewhere. Okay. Well, that's something that we could do at some point, right? Like, is do you have an open source like shareable link type of thing for this? Because then at some point I could just pop in and take a look. Also, how is my download going? Okay, unfortunately we have Windows 11, so we can start flashing Windows 11 onto this thing. Continue. Okay. Flash. Should I try to install NixOS on my main laptop for college, cybersecurity, or do you think I should keep my Fedora KDE that I love? I have a 1-year-old install, but I can easily back up, transfer everything. Ooh, well, when I was in school, I distro hopped every semester, but I also like my data was not sacred to me, right? And also most of the important data I ever had was on GitHub. So there was no risk for me. I would say like Nix is not going to do anything for your schooling, right? It's not like a better operating system for doing schoolwork. KDE is going to do that just fine. Um, if you're like, I would love to learn NixOS for my own purposes, um, then I mean, getting throwing yourself into the deep end is a great way to learn an operating system and a distro. But yeah, you're not getting any benefit for school. You're essentially forcing yourself to learn Nix, which nothing wrong with that. Um, but yeah, if you love your KDE setup, your Fedora KDE setup, then it's not like you're gonna. I doubt you're gonna sit there and kind of like discover that this is like a whole new world of awesome. In terms of stability, I needed to work on a random warning. It's to learn in deep waters. I mean, I understand NixOS to have many great stability features, right? Like you can kind of roll back to previous builds, which is awesome, and a bunch of cool stuff like that. So it'll be stable. But yeah, if you need your laptop to be like really, really great and stable and you know how it works so that you can make sure your work gets done for school, then maybe this isn't the one. Maybe this isn't the moment. Up to you. I was like very aggressive about this when I was younger. I would just like, whatever, I'll figure it out. And I would, I accepted the stress that brought, but it was also a lot of stress. So maybe that wasn't the right play. Managing my Proxmox server with a bunch of containers for a few months and realizing I just need Nextcloud plus image and an as. Yeah, right? Like I'm thinking I pare way down. I mean, I need Jellyfin. That's like my major driver is Jellyfin. Um and Home Assistant. These are the two things I really care about, and I would love to branch into a couple of other applications, but Jellyfin and Home Assistant are what I care about. And I realize I don't need Proxmox for that. I don't need TrueNAS. I don't need Proxmox for that. That'll run just fine on NixOS. So I think that's what I'm gonna try. We'll see how it goes. It's all about the journey, man. Hell yeah. I guess I will put it on the Tinker laptop. Oh yeah, if you have a spare laptop for tinkering, then that's the play. That's the play. Like, where's Chewy? Chewy is my like tinker box, right? Like I really don't care about Chewy and its stability. Chewy is just what I throw whatever on whenever. There's no identity to Chewy, right? So Is NixOS better than a standalone Debian as a server? I would not say better. Um, I've used Debian for a really long time, like as far as I'm concerned. Um, and it's like Debian feels like home ground for me on Linux, but I'm really interested in being able to store an entire distro, like an entire configuration for a Linux machine in a GitHub repository. Um, that's really exciting to me, and so I really want to try that out. So that's what excites me. Um, I think saying that it's better than Debian, I don't think I can do that. Debian just works. Like it's just it feels to me like the standard Linux. I know there isn't one, but there's a little bit one, and it's kind of Debian. You know, I'm just happy. I'm happy just running Unraid using Jellyfin and possibly Home Assistant. It's just so much easier than setting up Proxmox. Yeah, yeah. I want to simplify because like there's also I was gonna draft up this really complex thing where I have Proxmox and Proxmox is my compute, and then all of the VMs and all of the Docker stuff is on the NAS, and so like the volumes need to mount and stuff. I'm like, no, this is there's too much surface area for entropy. Too many things can go wrong, right? Like, what happens if my compute's running but my NAS isn't? Does that mean my VMs get confused or like end up in weird wonky state? What about my Docker containers, right? Like, I don't want things to get out of sync. And so I think just throwing them all on one machine is the play. Um, yeah. Debian is the base of everything. Yeah, right? Proxmox is better when we had multiple nodes, I think. Yeah, there is. Yeah, so I don't have multiple nodes and I really don't want multiple nodes. Like, I don't want to move into high availability. Having multiple nodes in Debian, I've never tried that. Um, I guess you could, right? Like, you could do a virtual IP and then kind of do load balancing that way. Um, with like keep alive D and stuff. I did that once and it was like I didn't fully understand what was happening. I just understood that I created a virtual IP that a bunch of devices kind of like connect to. This must have been while I was dealing with Kates. I was trying to set up like a Kates cluster from a bunch of Debian virtual machines. Peacing out. Thanks for the chat. All right, see you, Parker man. Um, that was an interesting project. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I want to start playing around with Nix because it feels like it solves a lot of my problems. But I'm always wary of that thought. If I think a technology is going to solve my problem, it's usually actually that what solves my problem is like closing a skill gap. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I think we can do that next week, and that'll be fun. Yeah. Oh, why is the Windows ISO is 8 GB? What is I got a dip too. Glad to stop in and chat for a bit. All right, see you, Klutz. Also, there's multiple nodes in terms of availability. Like if one crash, the other work, or just there is having different compute unit, like one 64 core, 128 threads, but slow versus okay. Yes. Yeah, I think probably at a certain scale, the all like the tools built into Proxmox probably pay for themselves. But I am not at that scale. So yeah, I just want to start home labbing. I want to start home labbing instead of talking about home labbing. Everything from one Proxmox VE. Yes, right. You kind of register those two nodes. That does sound really nice. That you can kind of do everything through like the ClickOps lens. But yeah. Yeah, I have my first Nix installed here, but I haven't done much. Calaverin says, I am also installing all my stuff on Proxmox server. It was very fun, but next time I'll just ditch Proxmox for a NixOS machine with Docker containers. Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm going here. Hey, Ewu on site. What is this? Didn't see. Will you get any image instances? Yes. Yes, I will. I think the core stuff I'm interested in is I want image, Jellyfin, Home Assistant, and then I want to start branching into what were you holding? Oh, just Chewy. This is a mini PC. Um, Basically, I want to do all my media management self-hosted and open source. So probably gonna do like audio bookshelf kind of thing, maybe. Um, there's a couple of ebook servers that you can hook your Kobo into so that you like basically instead of going to the Kobo store, you go to your self-hosted ebook store. I want to do that. That sounds really cool. With any smart albums or smart anything? I don't know. I haven't played with Image enough to know yet. Um, which is one of the reasons I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's time to simplify the home lab enough that I can actually start using these services I've been talking about for so long. For Kobo, you have Grimory, even if Calibra is still the best. Yeah. Um, Calibra, there look to be a number of like more modern tools or choices for ebook stuff, but I like Calibra looked oddly complex. The separation of like Calibra and Calibra Web confused me, but I haven't looked deep enough for that to be like a really informed opinion or anything. Image with smart albums and smart things can be pretty resource hungry. Ah, okay, okay, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what my device can handle, and if I need something with more juice, because this thing's just got an N100, then I'll figure it out when I get there. We'll push this thing to its limit, and then if I need more compute, well, then I'll reach out to a company that makes a NAS and get one, I guess. For me, Calibra is the best thanks to community plugins. Ah, okay, okay. So maybe Calibra is worth the work. It does seem to me to be like the long-standing, stable, responsible one in the that field. So maybe that's the way to go. And the rest are kind of like new flashy things that are actually not a great idea. Could be. Calibra is like the GIMP for books, just ugly. Yeah, right? Like that's kind of what I was getting to. But like GIMP also works. GIMP works very well, right? So maybe that's the play. I don't know. But yeah. Um Man, now I remember why I was putting off this Windows install for so long. Oh my god. It's like we're still waiting just to flash the drive. The last time I installed Windows was when I did my first video that kind of popped off on Windows tiling managers. And I remember the install was just brutal. There's like ads in the install process. It's just insane. For my Kobo, it converts EPUBs to KEPUB, but only when I transfer to my Kobo, so the source is unaltered. Interesting. Um, does Kobo need a specific file format, or is that some sort of convenience? What's the need for KEPUB? Oh. I've been KEPUBs are optimized with the format and some other functionality. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, that works for me. I've been doing a little bit more reading recently again, which I'm enjoying. I don't like it when I go long stretches without reading, but sometimes I get so exhausted from all the projects I'm on that I kind of lose like I have to do nothing after work. So, but I've been reading a new book well, new to me, called The Demon and the Machine, which is looking at information theory. It's kind of fun. Kind of looking at how like complexity in life and arise, and how information, though not like a physical thing, interacts causally with physical things. Very cool. Faster and stats and footnotes. Ooh, all right. That does actually sound really nice. All right, you know what? Maybe Calibra's the thing. Maybe we just tank the fact that it's ugly. We don't really use the GUI very much. Like, really, it's a server from which I host my EPUBs so that my Kobo can access them. That might just be it. Yeah. Oh, and then I think I'll keep remote access nice and simple. I think I'll be doing Tailscale. I know somebody recommended another one that was like fully open source, whereas Tailscale is like kind of closed. We'll see. TBH, the only button I use now is the send to Kobo and add to Calibra. Yeah, right? So I guess like it doesn't have to be pretty. It's like admin software, right? And nobody's admin panel looks that great. And I don't read from a web browser ever, right? I find that just a horrible experience. I mean, I don't read books or articles or things from a web browser. So, should be fine. Anyways. Anybody else working on some interesting projects these days? Headscale, maybe you're talking about. Not Headscale, though that makes sense that you would bring it up. Something else. It's orange. I remember that like the software is orange. Let's Google it. Software like Tailscale, but open source. What is it? Top. Not Netbird? I think it might be Netbird. Yes, open source zero trust networking. Netbird. I was thinking about Netbird. We'll see. Whatever makes it easiest to be able to share things like a Minecraft server with friends quickly and easily, right? Like that's really what I want. But I don't want to open up ports because I don't trust myself. Oh, you know what's fun? Okay, I did something recently. I set up firewall rules on my laptop. Or sorry, I set up firewall rules in my router to block my laptop's access to the internet via Wi-Fi. It can only access the internet via Ethernet because I wanted to like reduce fiddling. Like it's so easy to just grab your laptop and head to the couch, and then it's been like an hour of you exploring an idea or something, or just like noodling. This has pretty much completely stopped that, which is kind of awesome. I'm really actually enjoying that quite a bit. So I think this is something I'm gonna recommend to folks who are really thinking about digital decluttering. But it's a pretty niche idea. Trying to dump saves from 3DS and DS over a fully closed cartridge reader to send it to ROM. That's cool. Hamachi. I remember using Hamachi as a kid. Does this like? Now I'm curious. What does it do? Is a hosted VPN service that lets you securely extend LAN-like networks to distributed teams. Okay, this makes sense. I remember watching like Hamachi tutorials as a kid on YouTube, and then like messing with my dad's router because I had to like forward ports. Yeah, right. Hamachi for the Minecraft server 10 years ago. Yes, exactly. Yes. With my friends over Skype. Yeah. That was the last time I used Hamachi. Now I can just get all my friends on Tailscale and it should be pretty easy. Or Netbird, whatever works. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna try not to worry too much about the complexity of the system and just like let Nix be where the backup suit. Me as well. Oh boy. Yeah, what a good time though. What a way to get introduced to like fundamental computing and networking concepts. Just like I feel like so many people learned how their computer worked at least a little bit or enough to be dangerous because they had to host a Minecraft server for their less technical friends. It's Minecraft is a gateway drug, man, to computing. Remember setting up a TeamSpeak server? Yeah, right? Oh my god. What a good time though. I think one of my favorite stories about this kind of thing is, sorry, we're still setting up the Windows 11 install media, by the way. One of my favorite stories was I was modding Skyrim a lot when I was a teenager, and then I started naturally modding The Witcher 3 because I kind of became addicted to like modding games, right? I love configuration, which kind of makes sense why I'm here. Like that's my day job now, is managing configurations for other people and making those configurations right for them. It's what brought me to Linux. It's what brought me to Vim, right? But originally, the thing that I configured the most was Skyrim, and then The Witcher 3. Now, the thing that I find really funny is in The Witcher 3, that modding ecosystem is not as nice as Skyrim's. So there were times when multiple mods edit the same file, which is a merge conflict, essentially. And so there's this tool that the modding community released that let you compare how two mods edit the same file and then manage the merge conflict. I had no concept of Git in my mind at the time, right? And I wasn't going to have to deal with merge conflicts that like all too much as a solo dev, let's say in first year, just using Git, right? Just using Git. You're just committing, pushing, pulling, like there's no big deal. My first job though, obviously merge conflicts become a situation. And I remember my boss going like, "Oh, do you know how to do this? Like this is how, this is how merging works and whatnot." And I look at it and I go, I've done that before, but not for this. Like this is how you mod The Witcher 3. And of course, it's the other way around, right? Like somebody built this tool who was a software developer who was like, "Well, we know how to manage when multiple things edit the same file. This is a merge conflict. We will resolve it." But it was just so funny that that's how I got my introduction to dealing with merge conflicts. So I find that really funny. I still don't know why we're installing Windows 11. Uh, we're installing Windows 11 because a friend of mine, his dad needs a new computer. They've got this like old box. It's like massive. I mean, it's like a full tower, and he's like it died, and he just needs something to browse the web and like read his emails on. And I'm the computer guy in the friend group, so they were like, "Hey, I hear you have those mini PCs. How much for one? Could you put Windows on one and give it to my dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." But I've been putting it off for forever, and I was like, "Okay, you know what? Let's just do that on stream so that I actually do it." Because he's a good guy, and so is his dad, and I have been putting this off, and I kind of feel bad. So here we are. Spending more time configuring the game than playing it. Yeah, yeah. Also, spending more time configuring Vim than writing code. I'm playing Minecraft modded. I spend more time configuring AE2 or other than playing. What is AE2? Is that Ether? Is that the Ether mod, or is this a whole other thing? Put Linux Mint on my little brother's desktop. It's his first computer. If it's the first one, right, then no problem. Apple ID Energistics. Applid? Now I'm searching this up. Introduces a unique approach to inventory management and automation. Its futuristic sci-fi theme centers around the concept of converting matter into energy and vice versa for instantaneous resource transport. Very cool. It's like a Nasphere items with auto crafting. Nice. That looks like fun. I haven't played Minecraft in forever. I eventually I'll get that like 2 week kick where I'll want to do it, and I look forward to when that happens. You need to configure anything, manage lanes, and everything. Nice. Can't set him up on Bazite or even just Ubuntu. Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but like this is I just want this person to feel as familiar with their computer as they can and not have any trouble. And I don't want to like impose my beliefs on somebody about Linux and things. So I'm just gonna give them what they're used to, what they're comfortable with, and I think that's the right thing to do. If it was like a close friend, right? So this is my friend's dad. If it was like my close friend, then I might say, "Hey, are you comfortable with trying something like this? I think it would really work for you." But not in this situation. It's just I think too different, you know? Okay, cool. So we are finally, this thing is all flashed and ready to go. So just pop it out and see what we can do. Okay. So, oh wait, am I gonna need a mouse for this? It is Windows, right? So probably. Let's see this. Yeah, like I think I've just about convinced my dad to install Linux on his main computer. We've been talking about it and going back and forth for a long time, and he's like super on board. He hates Windows. At least he hates Windows now, but he's been using it for a while. Will you unload it? No. I don't want to do anything to the system that might make it more difficult to maintain, right? So any modifications I make could potentially make it more difficult for like could bring up all sorts of weird issues. And yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want that to happen. Um I'd happily maintain it, right? I like if there's a problem, I'd happily be involved in fixing and whatnot. But um I just want to minimize the kind of like I want to minimize any kind of nonsense from happening. Okay, so I'm gonna power this thing off. My preview has died. Oh, there we go. Okay, and Linux box. Okay, this should be work. This should be work. Good language, Nathan. Um, and just power this back on. Hopefully, excellent. Okay, great. Capture card's working. I love that for me. Does anyone know if this is fast boot? I can do that. Okay, you know what? Let's not do all that. What do you mean network stack? Enable, disable UFI network stack. Huh. Security, chipset. I think probably everything here is going to be just fine. And we're booting off of the disk first. This should all work. Yes, that is, yeah, exactly, right? I've tried debloating Windows and it works wonderfully until the first update, right? And then you're just back to the same bullshit. What do you mean video format not supported? Don't worry, it'll come back. Right? What is going on? Interesting. It didn't go into the Windows. Huh. Hmm. Why did that happen? I can see it read like the USB is being read online or local account. I will create a local account, I think. I think what does it mean video format not supported? Huh. Okay, hold on. Let me grab the backup. I'm thinking maybe there's like a weird situation with with the capture card. So I'm gonna plug this little USB powered monitor into it and see what happens with that. When was the last time any of you did a Windows install? Just out of curiosity. Come on. Windows 11 or Windows? If you haven't ever done a Windows 11, let me know when was the last time you did a Windows install was. Your most recent Windows install. Let's do that. Yeah, looks like the capture card. Interesting. Hopefully I can unplug this and do this on stream. Otherwise, you guys are just going to stare at me. I'm working on getting my girlfriend over to Linux and the self-hosted stack we have at home. Undoing a person's workflow takes time. Yeah. Long time. I don't think... I mean, even I use Linux for like my home lab and stuff, but my main device is my MacBook, so even I'm not great. Okay, here we go. We got Windows. Huh. Let's see. Well, all right. I don't want to bork this. It's Windows, so God knows it's going to be awful. Install driver to show hardware. What? A media driver for your computer need. A media driver your computer needs is missing. What? What are you talking about? It was a VM for some native build runner. Yeah, Windows Server 2 weeks ago for college, and Windows 3 years ago. I don't think I've ever installed Windows Server. Why doesn't it tell me which? What do you? What do you mean? A driver is missing. What? It's I created the install media straight from Windows. What could that even mean? Why didn't they just give me the necessary drivers? What? Maybe 6 months ago for my in-laws in their 60s and only got a cell phone last year before the latest round of revelations and bloatware. Yep. How how could I be missing drivers? This doesn't make any sense. Find it easier to make grandpa use Linux rather than Windows. Honestly, like why is it so hard to just install Windows? This is ridiculous. Less random fuck ups in App Store. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to. If it were my family, I probably would. Um but yeah, probably not a good idea here. No, drivers for Surface devices may be found. Oh my god, are you serious? All right, get this. The reason it can't install, this is ridiculous. The reason Windows 11 refuses to start the install right now is because I'm missing drivers for the touch surface, which this little monitor I've just plugged into it has. And so it won't go through the rest of the install process because it can't drive the touch part of this mini screen. Holy shit, dude. I think that's what's wrong. No, drivers for Surface devices may be found on the download drivers and firmware for Surface page. Like, do they mean Windows Surface devices? Or anything with a touch screen? Does it think this is a Windows Surface device because it is a touch screen? Normal Windows moment. I mean, yeah, what? Oh, I still use Windows from work, but moved just about everything else off Windows and Mac except Apple TV because still have some streaming. Yep, fair enough. The Apple TV is probably like the best of the closed off streaming devices. Last I installed Windows was in Podman container for a specific app. The spyware is real. Okay, well, and it won't drive the capture card? What? Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Turn this off. Let's see. Oh, here we go. All right, so now we don't have a touchscreen plugged in, so maybe that'll do it. Who knows? Oh, this is why I've been putting this off. I get it now. I get it. This is not awesome. Do anyone remember when Google's slogan was "Don't be evil"? Yes, actually, I was talking about that just a little while ago. I don't remember why. I just find it really like I don't remember the context of the conversation. It's just hilarious. Like, why would you get rid of "Don't be evil"? It just seems silly. That was the only thing holding them back. Just a slogan. Okay, so it still just won't. Really? You want to install to make your hardware discoverable. What is the problem? A media driver your computer needs is missing. What? This is all the information they give. Why is it so, like this PC came with Windows on it. Oh my god. All right. Well, what? Reboot ISO? I tried. Okay, I have another mini PC. Maybe we can try that. Man, you were. I don't know who was here for the start of the stream, but I was talking about how YouTube comments. I have like the YouTube comments I got on the um what was it? The Sleek phone video. My first comment on the Umbral Pro video was perfect ad. Are you sponsored? And I was like, huh. What happened that made like my YouTube video viewers so pessimistic? I'm like, I specifically state that they sent me the device but didn't look at the didn't get a chance to see the the script of the video or anything like that. It's in there. It's in the video. I state this. And the first comment just all right, okay. I don't understand. Yeah, it's why I still have the Apple TV. I have a nice home theater PC, but the Google Windavane, I don't know what that is. L1 DRM restrictions stop the full move away from closed source. Yes, so that's the thing where um, basically if you try to do streaming on a device that's not a sort of approved streaming device. Oh, nice. This works. Okay. One of the approved kind of streaming devices, the quality just sucks. Is that right? Install driver to show hardware. Okay. It's because of all the ads and AI. It's made people very distrustful of content these days. I guess. It's just like, I don't know. When that's pretty much all you get on comments on a video, I'm like, why am I making these? Why am I making videos just to get yelled at? I'm like, this is a cool device. I think this is great. And by the way, I was given one. Full disclaimer, full disclosure. And that's all. I'm sorry to rant about it. I'm sure I know that's not like exactly super fun to just listen to somebody kind of rant about that, but ugh. Okay. So this is not working. This install. Uh what can I do? I got Windows 11. I got the ISO. That doesn't seem to work. What's the alternative? Create Windows 11 installation media? Can I do that? Like at this point, I might use Chris Titus Tech's WinUtil just to make the installable media, not even to do any debloating. Ugh, I don't have a Windows machine to install WinUtil on. Does he? Yeah, because I need a Windows machine to run WinUtil and then create the ISO off of that. Oh, man. Well, okay. So, is there anything I can do to just... Why is this so hard? Creation tool to make a bootable USB. Windows 11 media creation tool cannot be used to create installation media for ARM-based PCs. Like, what? I mean, I do have an... totally empathize. People need places to rant. It's all good. Boot up a Windows VM and Proxmox. This... I mean, I still have one Windows PC. And so I can do this off stream. And... But, like... I'm not sure what's causing this. Like, why? What driver is missing? It's not a Surface device. Ensure the PC you want to install Windows 11 has a 64-bit CPU. Yeah, meets system requirements. It does. Downloaded this to install WinUtil. Yes, I can run WinUtil off of the Windows machine, create that. Oh. This is it. This is the last time I'm installing Windows. Probably the capture card. I tried it without the capture card, though. I just got all the drivers from manufacturers' websites. Yeah. The driver for Windows 7, the one for 10, all of them. Okay, let's see. T9 Plus. Is this it? Nope, that's a different thing. Model M and that. Whoops. Okay, this looks very similar to the one that I have. What is the T9 Plus Mini PC? I guess that's it, folks. Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on it. Huh. Okay. Oh, all right. I think this is correct. I'm now just scanning for drivers. Here, you can come with me. Looking for the right mini PC on this list. What is this company? Huh. Okay, one sec. Let's take this off. What? What is the company? The Waffle Ninja. What a great name. Is it this company? Why does it not say the company on the device? That seems odd, doesn't it? Hmm. Is that what it is? This is like a... Is this just like a generic device that many companies throw their logo onto? I'm thinking that's what this might be. Where can I find drivers? SN? S/N? What is that? Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Oh, wait, maybe? No. Serial number or BIOS. Yeah, I threw the serial number into search. I mean, I'm finding the device, but I can't find like a company that provides tricky. It's an Intel N95 base mini PC for look for those drivers. Okay. Hmm. Oh man. Core processor, Celeron, Arc, Xeon. Where does this fall? It's not core. Oh, Windows 11. NPU. What is IPF? Extreme tuning? That's not it. I don't think I need NPU drivers. This thing, there's no way this thing has like a neural processing unit. Chipsets? You're coming with me. Oh. What do I need for this? All right, let's see. Let's see. That's it. We're whipping out Claude. Claude, please fix this. Okay. Just tuned in because I've been seeing NixOS more and more. I'm curious what it's about. I wish that's what we were doing today, but unfortunately, I'm installing Windows. NixOS is a Linux distribution that's entirely configurable through like just a single configuration file or multiple flake files, which makes it so that you can basically have an entire machine configured in such a way that you could store that configuration on GitHub, which is super exciting. Wouldn't WinUtil be faster at this point? Maybe, but I can't do it on stream. Are you serious? Move? Okay. Claude is saying move the USB stick to a different port. Fixes this 70% of the time. Setup loads into memory, then loses access to the USB drive mid-install and blames drivers, quote unquote. When the error pops up, just pull the USB stick and plug into a different port, then click retry. Don't browse for a driver. If that works, only Windows. Only Windows could get away with being this shit for this long. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. Wouldn't util be faster? Wouldn't anything be faster than this? Wouldn't anything be faster than this? You utopist? I'm sorry we're not working on Nix right now. I really, really wish we were. I would believe that. Yeah. The reason we're doing this is at least for a good reason. A friend of mine's dad needs a new PC, and he's like 70, you know. So I don't want to stick him on a machine that he doesn't recognize or understand. So that's pretty much the only reason I have these days to install Windows, or somebody builds a brand new gaming PC or something. Interesting. Thanks. Keep the NixOS stream alive then. I will. I will. Next stream, we will be doing Nix things. We will. And that'll be significantly more fun. No worries. I always love tinkering with these things. Me too. All right, let's see how this works. Okay, so it's mad about drivers. We're gonna pull out media and plug it back in. And then there is no retry option. This is awesome. This is awesome. Oh. Oh boy. Honestly, for a friend's gaming PC at this point, go Bazite, unless they yes. My assumption was they might need kernel level anti cheat, and that is I'm in complete agreement there too. Well, I do think anyone who's kind of savvy, I would put on Linux. Wait, what is this? Windows? Yeah, I know. Again, I apologize. I don't want to be here either. But it is still slightly easier. The screen is the one I was hoping to rule out. A media driver your computer needs is missing. With an empty driver list on a T9 Plus, this is almost never a real missing driver. It means Windows setup lost contact. Leave the screen up and physically. I did. Use a USB 2.0 stick if you have one. Are you serious? Confirm the internal drive is even visible and set any VMD option to disabled and SATA mode. What? Windows LTSC. Yeah, maybe. Bazite can even dual boot with Windows. True. Oh boy, I love this page. Yeah, me too. This is going great. If you hate them, then it's fine. Uh, I mean, yeah, I just want to keep this simple, but like Windows is not helping at all. This should not be hard. Why is minimize even an option? Please. I always get this with a flash drive, but with Ventoy, it finds drivers fine. Interesting. I mean, yeah, but you got to remember, right? If somebody is like 70 years old, not a computer person, and all they've ever done is use Windows, giving them a Linux machine out of nowhere is not, it's not a good play. It's not a good play. As much as I would love to be doing that, it's just, you're going to throw a wrench into a system they already don't really love or understand very well. I mean, I don't know if LTSC is the play either. Arch? I have Arch Linux on this machine? Okay. Check the BIOS for a storage. Recreate the install with Rufus. No. Check for the BIOS. If moving ports doesn't help and the installer can't see the SSD, not the USB, reboot into BIOS. Okay, let's try that. LTSC is designed for a different kind of system. I looked into it a while ago. Like, I don't think LTSC is well built for like home PC situations. Um, Let me just search it up real quick. Yeah, Enterprise LTSC, and it's I guess they would be on Windows 10. If it's just a browser and watch YouTube type PC, then probably not a game changer. It's literally just Windows. They didn't rebuild Windows. I know, but all right. Hold on. Let me see. Intel storage chipset driver. Standard NVMe that Windows 11 already supports natively. Okay, let's try this. They just took Windows. I don't. Oh, you guys are getting ads? Hold on. Wait, are you on Twitch or YouTube? Why are you getting ads? I'll see if I can turn that off. We are now selling a server OS and added Active Directory. Right. Okay. Let's first check. Okay. So if you hard disk drive. There we go. It's just Windows, zero difference. YouTube, but it's not your fault. I think I can turn those off. No. Okay. That's interesting. I'm pretty sure there should be a little NVMe drive in here. Okay, hold on. Let's try the other device. This is going swimmingly. Do not boot. Okay, well, at least I can. Friends, don't install Windows ever. This is awful. This is awful. Okay. Okay, what do we have? Chipset, security. I would have rage quit by now. Like I gotta admit, I'm struggling. But for a friend, right? We do it for the friend. SATA SSD. That's not right. Isn't this? It must be the tiniest little SATA SSD. Secure boot's still enabled. Would you submit? Why would you submit chat to Windows torture? Well, I needed to get this done and I have stream. So I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. And finally get this over with. But now it's just been horrible. Okay, so it's detecting the drive. That's not the problem. Storage or VMD setting. Boot, security, chipset, advanced, CPU, and power and performance. It's not these. We got secure boot. Boot over. Launch EV shell from file system. Help us all hate Windows together even more. Yes, exact. That's a good way to think about it. We've all together grown to hate Windows even more today. Launch EV shell from file system device. Okay, let's try that. Let's plug this in. Does it notice that as an option? No. Whoops. Oh, oops. Save changes and exit. Nope, I want to system restart. Have we not all come to hate Windows more because of this? I feel like we've grown together. If moving ports doesn't help and the installer can't see the SSD, not the USB, reboot into BIOS and look for these. That makes the internal drive visible without needing a separate storage driver. Come on. Come on. This is the first video I've watched from your channel. Oh my god, I feel so bad that this is the first thing you've seen. We usually have much more fun than this. I swear. Okay. Much more fun. Oh, I think I know what is happening. You need to wipe the SSD drive. It's still seeing Proxmox, and other OSs have trouble overwriting it. Oh. I'm guessing I can't do that from BIOS, can I? I would have to plug in another, like another live, like a bootable thing, like bootable media. And then from there, I would have to wipe the drive. And then we'd be okay. Also, thanks, Ozzy. That's a great catch. If like that sounds right to me. Windows does seem like it would. Yeah, it's seeing the drive is formatted, but it's formatted as like XT4 or something maybe, and Windows just doesn't understand how that works. That could very much be the thing. Oh, I think so. Yeah. I think you're right. So I have to set up Linux bootable media to wipe the drive, unformat it, and then I can install Windows on this thing. Dude! Do I have another little USB stick? I think I have the Rufus one. Oh, wait. Seeing how bad Windows is and your reactions to it. You know what? Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad. Booting to Linux to install Windows is hilarious. Wouldn't it be? Okay, hold on. Okay, it sees the disk. Can you boot Nix? I wish. Um, okay, so we did that. I ran into this issue when I moved over a drive to my HTPC from what used to be my server. Okay, so we did the disk part. We cleaned the disk, which should kind of solve it. I think, right? Oh, then move USB blah blah blah. Then click back. If setup, then shows you disk selection screen. Use Shift F10 disk part clean. Okay. Claude is now helping. Ran it. All means we can narrow this down, but I need one. Rebuild the stick properly with Rufus. Can I use Rufus on Mac OS? Is that a thing? Or is that a Windows only thing? Windows really just locks you into Windows, doesn't it? Also, Cake Imaginary. Since it's your first time on the channel, what's up? What kind of projects are you interested in? What brings you here? What kinds of stuff have you been working on lately? Both the USB and the internal drive showing up in the list means the hardware side is completely fine. So this is not a real missing driver. It's set up losing access to the install source on the USB after it boots. Port swapping didn't fix it. The deciding question, how did you make the USB? Oh, wait, is that a thing? What? Since DiskPart already sees your clean internal drive, you can copy the installer onto it and run setup from there? What? Ventoy for the win. So you guys think Ventoy would fix this? Claude sounds like it's stuck in an internal loop. Possibly. I mean, it's still providing new things to think about. So it's not quite looping. Let's see if this Ventoy, this device works. Because I have another. I think this USB is still Ventoy. Yes. So we think this will fix it. I mean, plus you've never left me astray or led me astray, so we can try it. Run NixOS on daily driver. PBS to back home every day. Came here by searching for NixOS. Usually watch YouTube on FreeTube, but launch it on official YouTube to chat with you in the comments. Ah, well, that's nice of you. That's funny because I'm just I'm trying to install Windows on my old Proxmox backup server device. So that's a funny coincidence. Well, I'm not the most authoritative source when it comes to Windows. That's fair. It's a shame my dad's not in chat right now. He is a very much authoritative source on Windows. All right, hold on. So the internal drive's controller. Okay, let's try what Claude said. So if I do disk part, and then I list disk, they show up. Select disk 0. Then I can do, yeah, clean. We've already done that. Create partition primary. Okay. Format fs equals ntfs. Okay. Assign letter equals w. Okay. List volume. Okay. Cool. Exit. And then we do an x copy. What a shame. I was really hoping this was going to work. And TBH, this is mostly intentional. Yep. Yeah, I have no desire to be a Windows expert at this point. I also installed YouTube to hop into chat. Ah, well, that's nice of you guys. I'm also on Twitch if that's easier for you. I don't know what would be easier. At this point, it's funny. Like whenever I post a video, the comments are just extremely negative. Well, okay, there are several extremely negative comments. But whenever I stream, it's just the nicest people. Like the only reason at this point I make videos is so that like people can find my stream. That's amazing. I think it's Nathan's personality. Ah, well, thank you. Has a file system of raw. Huh? Raw means the file system is corrupt or unreadable. Windows literally cannot read the sources folder on it. That is what's been causing a media driver is missing. Two things. The fix rebuild the USB stick. This one is toast. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, we don't read YouTube comments for our mental healths, my dude. Yeah, for real. It was just like I posted a video for the first time in a while, and the first thing I got was, "Wow, nice ad." I was like, "Really, dude? Really? I can't. How are you supposed to learn about products if I can't say nice things about good products? This is a cool product that I want. Like, what? I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I know. It can't be fun to watch me rant about this. But like not every company is producing absolute garbage just to steal from you. Sometimes people create open source operating systems, right? They can't profit off of that, not really, because they have a principle and a mission. And then they create some hardware so that life can be easier for you. And they can't give away the hardware. So what do? They sell it. And then people like me go, huh, that's pretty cool, and try to tell other people about it. Like, what? Is Laundry your actual last name? Yes, it is. And don't worry, I get that question all the time. Nobody believes me. I used to buy these bus tickets to go home from university, and you know they ask your name because obviously, right? And then I would go like Nathan Laundry, and I go, you wait, what? Are you sure? I have been asked if I'm sure that's my last name before. Like, hilarious. I don't believe you is kind of funny, or like, is it really? You know, especially because you're on the internet, right? I could name myself anything on the internet, so perfectly reasonable question. But at the bus stop? Oh, just hilarious. Okay, so my hope at this point, we're assuming this USB stick, for whatever reason, didn't install Windows correctly. I'm guessing maybe Belina Etcher doesn't work very well for Windows. So maybe it's that, in which case I'll go do Rufus on my Windows 11 machine. Does this mean I have to own a Windows machine just in case somebody needs help with a Windows computer? What is that device, and do you have an affiliate link? This is the Umbral Pro. It's an NVMe based NAS that I think is beautiful, and I don't have an affiliate link because I tend not to take those because I want my because I want my reviews to be unbiased. But I'll give you a link. You go through. I have actually refused affiliate links in the past, um, to avoid being like, swayed to make an unfairly positive review of a product, and I still get slammed. Anyways, there you go. Okay. Belina Etcher is not a good choice for Windows installers. Yeah. Okay, so looks like Rufus is the option, and we're slowly putting Windows 11 on the Ventoy USB stick. I wonder how much of Windows market share exists because of Linux users setting it up for people. Maybe number 2 behind OEM installs. Yeah. Just have Windows VM on Proxmox and yes, I suppose, but then I gotta do USB pass-through and stuff. Ugh. I cannot afford NVMe right now. That was actually part of my my video. Basically, I said, so like I've reviewed many NAS devices at this point. Have I? 3. So I have like this Zima board 2 that I quite like. I had a Zima Cube 2, which I gave to my dad. I've got my own NAS, which is like a company, Aouster is how I pronounce it, AOO Star. All sort of traditional like SATA drives, right? HDD. This is the first NVMe drive, like NVMe NAS I've owned and reviewed. And basically, what I said in the video is, if you're curious, yeah, like it's the only thing that I've seen that's like it. It's like this NAS that's really concerned with being small and beautiful, and that's really quite interesting to me. So, but that beauty comes at the cost of some reduction in utility, right? So, for example, there's only one NIC here. There's only one Ethernet port, so it's not like you're going to virtualize Proxmox or run it as a router or whatever. And NVMe storage in this economy is particularly costly, but has always been more costly than SATA, right? So my argument is the Umbral Pro is probably for people with quite a bit of disposable cash and are very much concerned with the aesthetics and the beauty of a device. And that probably means they're not throwing it in their home lab, like in a closet, on a rack, or anything like that. They're probably a one device kind of person who puts this in their living room, right? So somebody who's interested in kind of self-hosting and stuff, but maybe not like a hardcore home labber, but they also have a lot of disposable income. I could see a lot of like professional software developers who just want something that works, don't want to maintain it super hard, but are curious about home labbing, picking something like this up. Endurance on those drives would wear me unless you were doing U2 enterprise drives. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what NVMe life cycles are like. Like what is that like? But I have a Synology. Yeah, no worries. I've never owned a Synology. I've heard interesting things. I've heard like very mixed. Like the Synology just works TM is pretty common. But I've been very interested in this like emerging niche of, I call them self-hosting boxes. These machines that are tend to be more capable. Like the CPU and RAM they stick in them is usually more than you would find in like a Synology, at least the Synologies of yore. And so they're more oriented towards not just storing your data, but also like hosting stuff. I find that quite interesting. The Zima is cool. Yeah, I like Zima's products. They're making some really cool stuff. Yet another thing I get comments for. The biggest comment I got on the Zima Cube 2 video was, something along the lines of lol Chinese company, which I'm like, in this political climate, do we trust China any less than we trust the US? Do we really? Like at this point, I would really much rather like buy product and software and stuff from like Canada and the EU. I'm a Canadian, by the way. So I'm like, if you're gonna be trusting Elon Musk and other American companies like Meta and stuff, is that less scary than China? Really? My home lab consists of a 13-year-old laptop with 4 gigs of RAM for PBS and a 16 gig laptop with broken screen hinge with PVE. That is such a sick home lab setup. Oh, I love that. I love that. I could see the Umbrel being useful for video editors. Yeah, me too. As somebody who edits videos, um, that was actually one of the things I really liked about the Zima Cube 2. It was set up so that it was like 40 gigabit per second direct. You could treat it as direct attached storage instead. Um, awesome idea. Just have that thing like under the desk or on the desk, plug it directly into a MacBook, off you go. And that was another thing about the Zima products is like they're very much doing like the Macs, like the Apple's machined aluminum thing in the same silver, much like the Umbral Pro is doing that dark aluminum that Apple's up to as well. And I'm like, there's clearly an increase in the concern for aesthetics in computing, in like the home lab sector, which means to me that like there are more and more not purely utilitarian people entering the space, which is kind of cool. You know, like not everybody needs to buy a beautiful device or is going to care about that, but it's cool that people that might want that can have it now. But I'm a shill. I'm a shill for having positive thoughts, I guess. I'm gonna stay bitter about this. Okay. How is our transfer going? We're almost done. Let me see. I do usually end stream at 6. So we'll see. Hopefully I can at least kick off the install and then let it go. But it's also the Windows install, so you can't just leave it. I don't see the Umbrel Pro as much for home lab use unless you have a very small Jellyfin library, but other things 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, because it's 32 terabytes max, right? So let's say you're wealthy enough to buy 4 8 terabyte NVMe drives, right? Which is already a big limiting factor, but let's say you can. And then let's say you're reasonable, so you probably put them in something like a RAID Z1 configuration, so you're down to 24 terabytes. 24 terabytes, you can store a lot of big buck money. That's a for the newcomers. That's a one of our inside jokes here is because it is in Canada and in the US illegal to rip the movies that you buy because it's considered DRM circumvention. Even if they're your movies and you bought them, it's illegal. So my Jellyfin server is full of big buck money. Anyways, 24 terabytes is a lot of storage for like unless you have a massive library or you're doing a lot of TV. Like TV fills up space immediately. Love me some big buck bunny and agreed. You're not a shill. I don't think I'm a shill. But I mean, I guess how can a random person on YouTube know that I'm honest? Right? How like they can't know me? Especially off of just a single video. I think I got a lot of people subscribed to my channel off of that like one big video, and there's a lot of really like negative doomerism and pessimism amongst the anti-attention economy people, And so anything that seems even remotely positive is just viewed as like shilling and, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm sure they're like, oh, Nathan sold out, which is perfectly fine. Like, I'm kind of hoping to have a quiet, steady period where I don't gain a lot of subscribers and actually lose quite a few so that I can. The folks that stick around are like, you know, well aligned. They're the folks that are kind of fun to hang out with and actually want to see my videos and things. Because I refuse to make doomery videos for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, this should work. I just subscribed. Well, thank you, Cake Imaginary. I think, like, yeah, stream seems to bring about the most interesting and fun to engage with people. Okay, interesting. USB does not seem to be booting into. Are you slyly inviting us for a positive charm offensive? Yes, that's the plan. Hmm. Partition 2. Interesting. Love that attitude. Positivity for the win. I mean, like. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna. Generic. General USB flash disk. This is correct. But it seems not to boot. So I think what we're going to have to do is take this, go onto the Windows machine, install with Rufus, or WinUtil probably, and try this off of stream. Ugh. All right. I cannot believe in 2 hours we couldn't install Windows. Like, come on. It's that bad. In 2 hours we couldn't install Windows. One thing I will not shill for is Microsoft. They could offer me so much money. I would not tell the universe. I would not tell YouTube audience that Windows is any good. I just wouldn't. I couldn't. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go the WinUtil approach. All right. So one last rant before I go for the day, and I promise you next week we will not do the Windows thing. I'll do this off stream and deal with it, and we will do NixOS for my NAS. GitHub though. I use GitHub because it's GitHub. I suppose that's the same reason many of us used Windows up until the Linux switch, you know? These days I'm a Linux and Mac OS person. Should have had Copilot do it. So here's my rant about positivity. I think Utopist and Cake Imaginary, one of the topics I address on this channel, and it was the topic of my PhD before I dropped out, didn't get that, was the attention economy and how like doom scrolling kind of affects us, how we can reduce doom scrolling, that kind of thing. And I think a lot of people who are interested in both the doom scrolly stuff, right? Attention engineering done by big tech companies and self-hosting are like that. There's quite a bit of overlap there. And from like, of the people who are interested in both those things, there is a significant amount of people who are really pessimistic. And fair, right? Like the fact that there are companies making so much money off of intentionally making your life worse is awful. I was there on that stream. Oh, really? Cool. So I get why people are pessimistic and angry about these things. However, like I don't believe that's a healthy way to live, right? And I don't believe it's a good way to make progress on the issue. Like to make progress, there must first be hope that things can get better. If you can't hope enough to imagine what a better future would look like, you have no chance of bringing it about, right? So like the rational choice is to find a way to be grounded but hopeful, right? You need to accept the reality of things. You need to actually look at what the current state is, not like shallow hopefulness, not sort of delusional hopefulness, but looking at the reality of the situation as it is, rationally assessing it, and then projecting forward as to how that could be improved. You have to do both, but hope is a core ingredient of that. So I refuse to like create a bunch of content that makes people more and more angry, right? Um, this if there's like a mission in that, right? It has to be driven out of hope, not out of anger. That'll just make things worse. And the same is true of the self-hosting stuff, right? Like, I hear a lot of people talk about how like tech these days is boring or awful, and every time you hear about news, it's worse and terrible. But in the self-hosting space, in the Linux space, in the open source space, software is looking really cool, man. Technology's looking really cool in those spaces. I mean, like the fact that a mini PC that costs $500, $600 like this, or the Zima Board 2 for $350 or something. The fact that I can get a mini PC, and you know, let's say I assume the bubble will pop and then RAM will be affordable one day again, right? The fact that you can get a mini PC that's powerful enough to host at home Netflix for like 6 watts of idle power usage, that's really cool. The fact that NixOS exists is really cool. The fact that you can game on Linux and the performance is actually great now, and the user experience is great now. This is amazing. Like, this is amazing. And everybody's so mad. Oh, everyone's so upset and everything is awesome. Like, not everything, but lots of things, you know? So, anyways. Yes, and I agree. Like, even there's so much anger around AI, right? And granted, there are good reasons to be very angry about the ethical problems of big tech's pursuit of AI as it stands. But there's also really promising, small, self-hostable LLMs that have gotten capable enough to write really like good enough code. You look at Qwen 3.6, it's really good. You look at like a Qwen 9 billion parameter model, which you could run on a very small PC, and all of a sudden, like your smart home could be run at home, entirely private, with a significant amount of intelligence, making your life slightly better. There's like always something to be hopeful for and promising in the world of tech, even when big tech is dedicating itself to shafting you. And so, I don't know. That's my rant. Anyways, I like that way of thinking. I will be there for the NixOS stream. Excellent. Look forward to seeing you there. Social media is this generation's big tobacco, or it might be sports gambling sites. It's both. The sports gambling sites are using the same attention engineering tricks that were pioneered in social media. So, yeah. In my mind, that's the same problem. Very hopeful that we will self-host our way out of this. I think there's a way. I think the self-hosting stuff is getting better and better. AI is actually making it easier to be a self-hoster. Devices like the Umbral Pro, the Zima Cube 2, these sorts of things are making it easier and easier to self-host. I mean, yeah. Love my local LLM, only cost 2,300 CAD to set up. That's not bad, right? I mean, definitely not tenable for a lot of people, but like tenable for quite a few. And you get fully private AI, man. I'm very interested in picking up like a Mac Studio at some point in the future when I have some spare money. Quite a bit of spare money, I guess, would be for that. Because it does look more and more like self-hosting capable coding models is possible. So I don't know. It's exciting times. What's there? I forgot what the quote was. There's something along the lines of like, I hope you live in interesting times. Not like I hope you live in good times, just interesting times. 2X7900 XTX. That would be, what is that? 48 gigs of RAM, is it? That'd get you somewhere. All right, friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I blunder around with Windows. I'll catch you next week.